Now, I have a lot of pet peeves, but my biggest pet peeve, or one of my biggest pet peeves, is being disappointed. I hate it when there is an idea that sounds good on paper, but when it's executed and it's executed poorly, all right? And it makes me want to ask those involved, why didn't you take your time with this? And if you knew it wasn't going to work, why don't you just go back to the drawing board? Or why didn't you go back to the drawing board to make sure that it worked? And I think of none other than Universal Studios' failed attempt at their own universe, known as the Dark Universe, which would have started off with 2017's The Mummy starring Tom Cruise. But due to the bad performance of that movie and how it was critically panned and it was also a box office bomb, yeah, the Dark Universe didn't take off. Even with the star power of Tom Cruise, it didn't help the movie at all. But in my opinion only, all right, here are the three reasons as to why, to me, the Brown Baldy, that this universe did not work as planned. One, Universal showed their whole hand. You know how Marvel built up their cinematic universe by starting with Iron Man, and then slowly but surely the pieces of the puzzle started falling into place? Well, in this movie, they show the logo, Dark Universe. And in the movie, we see, oh, there's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There's the creature from the Black Lagoon. Oh, there's Dracula's vampire skull. Oh, there's the giant squid from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and so on and so on. And I'm going, you know what? There's a thing called, surprise, surprise. So when we see it, we're like, wow, that's awesome. Two, Universal, just like DC and Warner Brothers, did not jump on the opportunity to do their own thing before Marvel beat them to the punch. See, DC and Marvel, they could have had their own live action Justice League film way before Marvel did the Avengers in the MCU. That's the same thing that Universal could have done. You have all these monsters at your disposal, but how did you not capitalize on that? Make it make sense. And finally, Universal Studios tried to do the same thing that Marvel did. See how Marvel relied heavily on Robert Downey Jr.? Okay? You have a big name of Robert Downey Jr. to start off your universe. So I guess they thought to themselves, oh, well, we can get Tom Cruise to start off on our universe. But as I said earlier, just because you have a big name in a project doesn't mean that you're going to be successful with it. Why they did that, don't know. Because point blank, I really wish that this series would have happened. It would have been pretty cool to see the Wolfman and Frankenstein's monster and Dracula all in a modern day setting. That would have been awesome. But another thing too is, if you ask me, I really believe that the Dark Universe could have started off with either 2010's The Wolfman or 2014's Dracula Untold. But the closest that we'll ever get to seeing all these legendary monsters like on the screen at one time is one of four ways, or all four of these ways. One, those old 1930s films from way back in the day starring Bela Lugosi. Two, 2003's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which was Sean Connery's last movie before he retired. Three, 1987's The Monster Squad. And four, Universal Studios having their own Dark Universe theme park in Orlando, Florida. Because, in all honesty, the Dark Universe and the failure of 2017's The Mummy is yet another example of what the Brown Baldy calls failing an open book test. Just my thoughts, just my opinion, and as always, just saying.